Hi everybody, welcome to Tim's Vinyl Confessions. I'm Tim Derling and this is episode 299. So that means that we are just a few days away from episode 300 when Matt's going to try and ask me questions about some of the artists we featured on past episodes that I won't get. Someone out there is going to win a really cool CD prize pack. Good luck to everybody that's sent in their entries. Past time for entering, but we got a lot of great questions, I'm sure. Matt assures me. And I, least of all, know how this is going to turn out. So, yeah, I guess I'll have to wait with everybody else. On this episode, I'm going to go through my Foreigner cassette collection. Foreigner, of course, huge band. No really rare albums, just some you don't always see on cassette, especially towards the end. And I'll mention something that I've talked about in previous episodes I've done on this band about their serial numbers, which just continues to seem odd to me. But for now, let's get started. First couple are really old. This is the first Foreigner album, self-titled, 1977. This is a very old Canadian cassette on Atlantic Records. And serial number on this is CS 18215, the original serial number. Within a year of this coming out, it was replaced by 19109, and that is significant. For a reason which we'll get into. That's what the back of that looks like. Nothing in it for credits, and it's just got a paper sticker on the tape itself. 1978, album number 2, another old Canadian cassette, Double Vision, again on Atlantic Records. Serial number CS 19999, 1 and 4 nines. Looks much the same as the first one there, just a different color. And this one, the sticker got torn off. I'm going to assume this is the correct album. Third Foreigner album, 1979, Head Games. This is a slightly newer but still quite old Canadian edition. Very standard looking. Time around on this for the serial number XCS 29999. See a trend here? That's what the back of it looks like, and the cassette itself with a sticker on it. 1981, the single biggest selling Foreigner studio album. I actually think it's their biggest selling album, is Foreigner 4, the one that Mutt Lange produced. This is a slightly newer Canadian edition on Atlantic, XCS 16999. What's with all the nines? I don't know. There you go, back there. And instead of a sticker, we're in the slightly newer, which you'd see more of these in the 80s look on the cassettes. In 1994, Atlantic Records reissued the Foreigner catalog along with a lot of the other classic rock bands like Yes and Genesis and Bad Company, Led Zeppelin, and the Foreigner catalog. The only remastered cassette I have is their 1982 Best of Records. So this is a US remastered copy of Records. Now the serial number on this was just the next Atlantic one, which is 82800. The original issue of this was 80999. Very strange. This is still a really fun 10-song collection. It is missing some of their later hits, but this is a pretty good one to start with. Clear cassette, as was typical of the time, and the credits. Missing, of course, the die cut, which the record had. Next album, 1984, Agent Provocateur. This is a Canadian Columbia House issue, and the serial number this time around was 81999. Took up the full back there. That's the cassette itself, and just some credits all mashed into one side. Now the one Foreigner album during this period that didn't end in 9, and I'm wondering if somebody at Atlantic didn't get fired over this because they missed it, 1987 Inside Information. This is a Canadian edition. It is a Columbia House edition. And this time around the number was 81808. So close. There you go. And there's the tape itself. This one has all the lyrics and credits in it. And that was the last Foreigner album for 4 years. Of course, Lou Gramm temporarily left. He was replaced by Johnny Edwards. And in 1991, this album came out, which was not very successful, though not a bad album, Unusual Heat. This is an Atlantic issue from Canada on Columbia House, and didn't miss a beat. Serial number is 82299. There's the tape itself. And this basically had everything that the record and the CD had. And one last time, they would go to the nines, as it were. 1992, very awkwardly titled The Very Best ... and Beyond. Dumb cover, really dumb cover on this. This is a Canadian Columbia House issue. Great compilation, dumb cover. There's the back of it, looks like. This number is 89999. I have no idea what's with all the nines. They kind of follow the Atlantic numbering system, but it can't be a coincidence that all of those albums end in multiple nines in some cases. I've never been able to understand it. If somebody out there knows, please tell me. Dumb inset too. Like, there's some cool photos, but this mouth, and there's a cool write-up on the band, but yeah, it's not the greatest packaging. So the last two I'm going to talk about are the two hardest ones I found to track down. 1993, basically the record company and their manager Bud Prager put this out. Classic Hits Live. A really good compilation of some various live performances from all the way back to 77 going up to 1985. This is actually a German edition on Atlantic. It was released in North America, but this is a German edition. Looks about the same everywhere by now. That's the tape itself. And Bud Prager writes up a pretty good story about how Foreigner formed and how difficult it was for them to get a record deal, believe it or not, even though feels like the first time was on their demo tape and they played it for someone and they said, well, that's not a hit. Anyway, photo of the band in their original 6-piece lineup, that's the write-up there. And there's the track listings talk about each tune, what album it was originally from, and where the particular live performance came from. Last one I got to show you here is from 1995, a fine album. By this time they were no longer on Atlantic Records. Mr. Moonlight. This is a Canadian copy. They were on a small label called Rhythm Safari Records, and in Canada that got them distributed through Attic. So this is the one Attic Foreigner album. Don't think this one exists on vinyl, just cassette and CD. They almost scored a top 40 single with Until the End of Time. Great ballad, peaked at number 42. Not bad considering the era. There's the tape itself. And all of the lyrics, credits, and a photo and a little Mr. Moonlight illustration. That's basically it. If you've got any stories about why you think all those numbers end in 9, I'd love to hear your thoughts on them. And again, we're gearing up for episode 300 next weekend. Thank you very much for watching Tim's Vinyl Confessions.